This One Piece chapter, man, 953, blew my mind. At first, I wasn't really sure what I was going to expect from this chapter. I thought maybe we were going to get some more Kaido versus Big Mom stuff. I definitely thought we were going to get a lot more of that Zoro-Gyukimaru fight. But what we actually got, I could not have predicted this. The chapter was mainly around Kawamatsu and this new-ish character, Onimaru. When I was first reading it, I was a little bit like, where is this going? I'm not sure if I'm enjoying this. By the end, absolutely loved it. One of those perfect chapters that's just chock full of lore, chock full of stuff to speculate on over the next few weeks. So much to talk about. Let's get into this review of One Piece, chapter 953, Once Upon a Fox. Who is that fox? So, like I said, we got Kawamatsu. And this chapter is mainly kind of a flashback of Kawamatsu. And we find out how Kawamatsu got captured, how he separated from Hiyori. Hiyori basically ran away because Kawamatsu wasn't eating enough food and was giving all of his food to Hiyori. And then we find out what Kawamatsu was actually doing before he got captured. And what he was doing is, he was in Ringo and he was gathering up weapons, which is what Kinemon wanted last chapter, to help the Alliance in the future. And he's helped here by a little fox called Onimaru, and we find out that that fox used to belong to Daimyo Shimotsuki Ushimaru. There's that name again, Shimotsuki. Zoro's village, Tonyasu, has links to Ryuma, so clear. Again, this is a very important name, keeps coming up. Constantly related to Ringo as well, constantly related to characters that are linked to Zoro or have involvement in Zoro. So definitely, yeah, keep an eye on that name because I think it's going to have a lot of significance going forward. I'm not quite sure about this Ryuma connection. I'm pretty sure that Ryuma in the end is going to be revealed to be Ryuma Rorona, same as Zoro. Or maybe we find out that Zoro is actually been misled and his last name all along was Shimotsuki. Again, this chapter all about that speculation. But back to Kawamatsu, we get him here and he's getting to know this fox, Onimaru, and again, this fox kind of came out of nowhere. It was a bit like, where is this going? As I was reading it, I was like, who is this fox character? Why is this fox so important? We get to see the fox and Kawamatsu bond. There's this great moment in it. Again, this is making me really, really like Kawamatsu. Probably one of my favourite characters outside of Kishiro in Wano at the moment, where Onimaru is biting onto his arm and he's like, are you either going to let go or rip off my arm? Make your mind up. And that's a great little Kawamatsu moment. Shows a lot about his character there. And as they're bonding, we start to get a few little clues as to who Onimaru actually is. Apparently, if you actually do speak Japanese or you're more understanding of how the name structures work, you'll see that there are some clues in the name of Onimaru and other characters that we'll talk about in a second that link Onimaru to Onimaru's actual truth. I first started to suspect Onimaru's truth when we find out that the fox is actually a kitsune, and in Japanese mythology, as you probably already know, a kitsune is a mythical fox that can transform into humans. What human was it going to transform into? Well, the second we started seeing Kawamatsu collecting weapons, the dots all kind of joined up. Who is Onimaru? Onimaru is Gyukimaru. So that's it. There we get confirmation as to who Gyukimaru is. No more speculation around him. Onimaru is Gyukimaru, but still, what on earth is going on there? We got a fox turning into a human, a fox that used to be the sidekick of one of the daimyo, Shimotsuki. Again, that name. But again, he's transforming into a human. What could that mean? Obviously, we've got that mythological animal where the foxes do transform into humans. This is One Piece, so you obviously got to straight away think, is it devil fruit related? If it is devil fruit related, what on earth devil fruit is it? I mean, could it be a smile? I don't think it's going to be a smile. I mean, I'm not really sure, but maybe Onimaru predates the smiles. I mean, 13 years ago, not really sure when the actual smiles started being made. Definitely hasn't got any of the defects of a smile. So far, pretty much all of the smiles, apart from the man-made one that Momo ate, but that was made directly by Vegapunk. But the rest of the smiles, we will see that they have pretty bad defects in how they look. Onimaru doesn't seem to have that. It looks pretty clean. I mean, is it a fox fruit? Because we already have a kitsune-ish devil fruit user in the form of Devon, which can turn into a nine-tailed fox, but that's similar to a kitsune. It's got kitsune in the name. So, is it fox? Is it a fox that ate another version of the human fruit? If so, what kind of human fruit would it be? Could you get human fruit samurai or bandit? I mean, it's Oni in the name. Could it be an Oni one? Who knows, or could it just be a mythical creature? I mean, it is a creature from the land of Wano, and we have seen some pretty bizarre animals out there in the One Piece. Well, you know, we knew that dragons existed, and their dragons can breathe fire and stuff, so, you know, it could just easily be that there is actually a fox that can just naturally transform into people, just like the old myths. Who knows? Again, speculation chapter. Another thing that we get to speculate on again is, once again, what on earth is Kawamatsu? Because we were all calling him Kawamatsu the Kappa. We thought he was a Kappa, but then here we see, for the first time, Kawamatsu takes his hat off, and he doesn't have that traditional Kappa-style bowl, you know. Kappas are meant to have like a little bowl of water in their head, at least that's how they're presented in the mythology. Kawamatsu doesn't seem to have that here, so again throws a little bit of a question on what on earth is Kawamatsu. Is he actually a fishman, or is he a Kappa? I mean, is it devil fruit related? I doubt it, because we've seen him swimming, so again, that kind of more points me in the fact that he's probably actually a fisherman, and that he's come to Wano. Could have been when he was really young, could have been with Inurushi and Nekomamushi, we don't know, but he's come to Wano. They don't know what fisherman is, so they just call him a Kappa, and he's kind of taken on that role of being a Kappa. That's maybe where I'm leaning. Also, the fact that a few chapters ago we had Big Mum talking about the fact that in her land, in her kingdom, she is missing 3 races. Now, we know that one of them absolutely is giants. The second one is King's Race. We don't know what King's Race is, but we know it's King's Race. And then the third one, assuming King isn't related to them, would be potentially Sky People, because we see no Sky People at all during the whole of Whole Cake Island. So potentially that third race is Sky People, which then doesn't leave any room for Kappa, unless somehow King is related to that. Again, a lot of speculation. Again, or, you know, maybe the Kappa were off screen, same as the Sky People. We don't know, but it doesn't look like there's any more room for any more races now in One Piece, which again is make me think maybe Kappa isn't really a thing, and he's just a fisherman that's taken on that kind of Kappa persona. Speculation! But that's not all the speculation this chapter. We've still got more to talk about. We've got Zoro's sword, and we've got the cover page story stuff. But first of all, let me please ask you, if you could, just drop one of those likes, as it helps the channel out so much. If you could do that, that would be awesome! Yes, let's go back to Zoro's sword. Because at the end of this chapter, you thought it was all over. You had all of the Gyukimaru stuff, you had all of the Onimaru stuff, you had all of the Kawamatsu stuff. Then it says, chapter ends, halfway down the page, but it's not over, because the last few panels, they were mind-blowing as well. We get Hiyori saying here, if your sword, Zoro, is Shusui, can you please return it? Zoro straight away like, no way, it's mine! But then she drops the bombshell. Well, why don't you have my sword, which belonged to my father? Her father was Oden. Oh, and this sword also was the one that gave Kaido his scar. Whoa! Hold on there. Zoro's potentially going to get a sword, and you know it's going to be a high-grade sword that can cut Kaido. Whoa. Oh, and by the way, the sword is also called Enma, which is a demon in Buddhist mythology. Again, linking Zoro to demons. When I first read it, I was like, Enma? Third Hokage? Monkey? No, demon. But again, speculation, going crazy here. What does this mean? Is Zoro going to get rid of Shusui? Is he going to get Odin's sword? Is he going to cut Kaido? I mean, who knows? If we do get Zoro taking down Kaido, I don't think the community can handle that. I think there's going to be a major breakdown. All of the slugs in the land are going to be buried in salt. Is this where that's going? I personally doubt it. I think Luffy is the character that absolutely has to take down Kaido, and is the one that has been building up the reasons and the connections to take down Kaido, you know? He's made that alliance with Law, and he's promised with Law. He said he's going to do it to Otama, to help Otama. He said he's going to take down Kaido so that everybody in Wano can eat non-poison food. Whereas Zoro, he's been building up the connections and the reasons to take down Orochi, with Hiyori and his relationship with Tonyasu, and the fact that Orochi killed Tonyasu. So I don't think that we're going to get Zoro suddenly taking on a Yonko when Luffy isn't taking on a Yonko. If Zoro does have to take on a Yonko, then absolutely Sanji has to take on Big Mom. But then where does that leave Luffy? Maybe Zoro can come in, do a cut on Kaido or something, but then Kaido like tanks it or goes into his hybrid form and completely destroys Zoro, and then Luffy steps in. Or maybe Zoro is the one who at the end, once Luffy has beaten him up, kind of like Kakashi Kakazu, comes in right at the end and puts down Kaido, kills him after Luffy has defeated him. Who knows? Again, we got all of this speculation from this chapter. And that's still not all, because obviously all of this puts a lot more questions around Oden, as well as all of those continuing questions around Ryuma. When are we going to get some flashbacks? But something in this chapter stood out to me and I was like, that could be a pretty interesting thing. This is probably the wildest of the speculation, but at one point Kawamatsu says that the spirits of the original owners of the swords from Ringo, you know, they still reside in the swords, and that's what makes them powerful for other samurai to use. That, you know, potentially brings up that kind of thing of, could this be a window into talking to Ryoma? And could this be a window into talking to Oden? Could their spirits still be in them swords? Could we actually get Zoro conversing with them? Could we get a moment here where Ryuma speaks directly to Zoro? And we find out a little bit about maybe Zoro's potential connection there to Ryuma that we all suspect. Could we be Oden saying to Zoro, look, take my sword. This is Kaido's weakness. This is how I took him down. This is how I cut him. Who knows? Again, more speculation coming out of here. And one final little bit of speculation. Not really related to the chapter, but more the cover page story. And that was Capone page. And he's off to the Florian Triangle to look for Thriller Bark. But as we saw, Thriller Bark has since moved. It's no longer in the Florian Triangle because we saw Gekko Moria go see Blackbeard. And we saw Thriller Bark there. So Capone is going to go to the Florian Triangle. And he's not going to find Thriller Bark, but what could he find there? He could find those big mystery giants that we know are in the Florian Triangle. Something that we've been speculating about for years. We could actually maybe get them answers in a cover page story or find out a little bit more about them. So much in this chapter, you know, from the cover page story all the way to the end with the sword, Oden's sword, Enma, the stuff with Gyukimaru in there, the little bits about Kawamatsu seeing his backstory. I didn't really enjoy this chapter at the beginning, but by the time I got to the end, absolutely loved it. Easy gold tier, this one. Fantastic chapter. Came out of nowhere and it was brilliant. I've been so enjoying talking about this with my friends and with everybody on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. And I'm going to continue talking about it until 954 drops. And I'm probably going to be talking about this chapter well after, until we get some of these answers. Fantastic chapter. Hey, so thanks for watching. What did you think? Let me know about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed my video, maybe give it a like. And if you really liked it, why not subscribe? You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Twitch. Oh, and here's a related video you might enjoy and something more fresh. I've been Hegassen, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!